dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. Today is Wednesday, June 17th, or like we call it, Hump Day, the middle of the week, and we've made it this far, and these temperatures have been great this week. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson. I know, like you said, we're waiting for those summer temperatures and people want them, but let's stay right here for just a little bit.
Listen, I'd stay right here all year for all I care. I am not a huge fan of the heat, but I know we have to get it at some point, but we're holding on for a few more days. We'll take a look outside this morning. US 119, US 23 at Jenkins. Not a whole lot of activity this morning. Fairly quiet weather-wise. No fog, no serious rain right now. We're going to continue to track that as we head deeper into the morning hours. Let's take a look at our temperatures right now, and we're seeing those in the 50s and 60s as you head out the door this morning. Back to 60 in Prestonsburg, 62 Jackson, 61 in London. Everybody else in the mid to upper 50s, some low 50s down near the Kentucky-Tennessee border. 70 today, yes, some typo, and you heard me say that right. 70 today. Average high is 82 for this time of the year, and scattered showers, the name of the game, under partly to mostly cloudy skies. Rest of the forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And we've learned that 203 more people in Kentucky have now tested positive for COVID-19, and that puts Kentucky's total at more than 12,800 cases. Governor Beshear also announced that the state's death toll is up 512, and that's up 7 from Monday. One of those deaths was in Clay County. But as of last night, more than 3,400 Kentuckians have recovered, and that is good news. And on June 29th, public pools will be allowed to reopen along with gatherings of up to 50 people. New guidelines from Healthy at Work requires pools to limit capacity and practice social distancing. Any waiting areas, saunas, and steam rooms will remain closed. And a spike in COVID-19 cases is leaving public health directors wondering if people are still taking the virus seriously as reopenings are in full swing. Clay, Jackson, and Rosscastle counties have reported nearly 30 cases in the past several days. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked with health officials about this increase.
In Clay County, the pandemic had a quiet beginning, but now is a different story.
Over the last 3 weeks, we've seen a steady increase in the number of cases.
Since the weekend, 7 new cases were reported in the county, and 1 man died Monday night.
What I think I'm seeing is really related to increased activity as we reopen our economy and reopen our social interactions in the community.
Many of the cases are linked to Solid Rock Church.
I just worry that people might be downplaying the risk of COVID in order to be together and socialize or worship together.
Just up the road on Route 421, Jackson County has nearly 20 new cases. One, a woman who works at Jackson County Bank.
They have 2 branches in Anvil and Sand Gap. They brought staff that was not affected or exposed in to work at the McKee main office until the ones who've had to quarantine and isolate can return to work.
1 case is connected to the McKee Medical Clinic, and several more cases are people from Big Hill Holiness Church.
It doesn't just affect our community because people do tend to travel to their church of choice.
Warning people to not become complacent as the economy reopens.
COVID has not gone away.
In Clay and Jackson counties, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, all the people are self-isolating and none are hospitalized. We also learned about new cases in several other counties yesterday. Laurel County reported 8 new cases, which takes them past 50. And Perry County is now up to 36 cases. And a 19-year-old that worked at the Whitesburg Walmart tested positive in Letcher County. And the Letcher County Jail announced that one of their part-time employees tested positive for the virus. The employee was at the jail on Saturday when he was told that he came in contact with someone who tested positive. The employee immediately left the jail to get tested. Letcher County jailer Bert Sloan says they quickly disinfected and started to contact trace.
It's what you're trying to do to isolate those people when they do come into your jail and keep them away from the other population. It hopefully will be the good work to keep people safe.
For precautionary reasons, Sloan says that he sent 8 inmates and other employees to get tested. The results that have come back are all negative. And a group of Kentucky inmates is suing for release from a prison dealing with the COVID-19 outbreak. More than 12 people connected to the Kentucky Correctional Institute for Women have tested positive. The ACLU has filed a lawsuit on behalf of 7 women that they are especially vulnerable to the virus. Leaders say that they've learned from past outbreaks and hope to limit the spread.
As I said, we've got the testing, we've got masks, we've got sanitizers, we even have some foot protection at KCIW. And so learning from Green River is bringing us a long way to get this one. Hopefully it won't even reach the levels of Green River.
Secretary Brown says that they hope to have everyone at the facility tested by the end of the week. And one man is facing a host of charges after police say a multi-county chase ended in gunfire yesterday morning. Officials say that the chase started in Jessamine County, going through Madison and Rockcastle counties before ending in Lincoln County. Around 2:30 yesterday morning, Lincoln County deputies said David Wilson fired shots at them before running away on foot. That's when a kidnapping victim was rescued. Police say Wilson was found hiding in a vacant house and arrested about 5 hours later. And authorities in Ohio have identified human remains found in a state park back in 2016 as a Corbin native. Ryan Zimmerman would have been 22 at the time, and he moved to Columbus shortly before his death. His parents reported him missing back in 2015. In 2016, his then unidentified remains were found at Grand Lake State Park. Evidence showed Zimmerman's body was severed at the head and spine. It was also severed from the knees and elbows down. He was identified through DNA evidence. Police say they do have a person of interest in the case. And the Richmond Register reports that the body of a missing Madison County teenager was found yesterday. Crews have been at Harrington Lake looking for Emmanuel Pruitt for nearly just 1 week. The 17-year-old was swimming with friends last Wednesday when he went underwater and did not come back up. Pruitt would have been a senior football player at Madison Central High School. And the number of drowning deaths in Kentucky is higher than usual this year. As of this morning, at least 31 people have drowned this year in the state. WYMT's Connor James went out with the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife yesterday and talked with officers about why those numbers are higher and what can be done to combat that moving forward.
If you've gone out on any of Kentucky's lakes lately, you've more than likely seen plenty of people out on boats or fishing.
Most people are staying local this year, so we're seeing a lot more people on the waters. Our lakes are a whole lot more crowded this year than they have been in past years.
More people, unfortunately, has resulted in more drownings, Sergeant Homer Pigman says, but it doesn't have to be that way. The emphasis is on life jackets. Whether you're swimming or boating, have one on you.
A lot of factors go into that as to why we've had those drownings, but the one key factor that we've got is that none of them were wearing a PFD.
Sergeant Pigman works to help cover Kentucky's 7th District that encompasses Carr Creek Lake, which is where we went out on Tuesday a little before noon to see what goes into a normal day on the lake for the department.
Obviously, any kind of safety violation is primary for us. We're looking for anything like children under 12 without a life jacket on. Someone may be riding in a very dangerous situation, such as the sides of the gunnels or on the backs of seats.
Lieutenant Jason Sloan is the district's commander for the Fish and Wildlife's 7th District. Their main focus is to be on the lookout for situations that could pose danger out on the waters.
Well, the first thing we're going to do is make sure we're approaching safely, that they don't have any fishing line out that we're going to get tangled up, and maybe advise them that the reason we stopped them for.
Boat checks like this are part of that practice.
Would you guys mind if we did a quick safety inspection, make sure you got your boating safety equipment on board?
The check is simple as Lieutenant Sloan checks their fishing licenses.
All right, thank you, sir. And looks like your registration's all good to go.
There needs to be life jackets for everyone on board here as they check the boat.
If we could have everybody just grab a life jacket, or everybody hold a life jacket up, that way we make sure we've got enough for everyone on board.
Sometimes over the winter, those jackets can degrade.
Those are in good shape.
And as the boat is checked without any issues, they drive on to patrol more of the lake. It's simple, officials here add, just follow the rules set in place and your time at the lake will be much safer. At Carr Creek Lake, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, if you do forget your life jacket, you can always pick one up from the multiple life jacket loaner program locations at a lake like Carr Creek. You pick it up before you go out and you return it to the hangar when you return. And for boaters, make sure you're observing those buoys that are around you.
Clouds and scattered showers. It's going to be the name of the game again today. We saw quite a few clouds yesterday. Some sun peeked through at times, but it's going to be another similar looking day today with partly to mostly cloudy skies. We take a look now at our temperatures. They're in the 50s and 60s this morning. 3 60-degree locations, Jackson, Prestonsburg, and London, 60 or above at least, and some mid to upper 50s across most of the area, some lower 50s down toward Middlesboro. 70 today. Yes, 70 your forecast high. Yes, and it is mid-June. It's on a typo. You're not in a time warp. You didn't mishear me. But again, it's going to be a cooler day, and then temperatures tonight will stay pretty mild there as we head into the overnight hours with a few more clouds, but drying out. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, Kentuckians went to Frankfort yesterday morning demanding answers after delayed unemployment payments and were met with a surprising response.